Yo, what's up? It's your boy RJ in the building, and today we're going to go back on a little bit of the educational side and talk about how to force neutral and when is a good time to do that. First of all, I hope you guys did enjoy. I see you guys did enjoy the Naruto video that I made, inspired off of Poison Okami's Sasuke version of it, which you should definitely check out if you've not watched already. So if you guys love more comedy stuff, as I love comedy and I love doing those sort of things, just let me know in the comment section down below, and I will do more comedy stuff. I'll keep up with like the educational stuff as well, because I know that a lot of you joined for the educational side, but I like to have some fun as well. So I want to show you guys that I also have a fun side as well as I have an educational side. So yeah, hopefully you will see all sides of me one day if YouTube pots off. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. But yeah. So right now, as of right now, we are here going to talk about how to force neutral, why to force neutral, like the benefits as well as the bad times to do it, the good times to do it, and why you should do it, and how effective it is as well. First of all, I want to say that everything that I am saying in this video isn't necessarily easy. It comes with time, for mental reasons as well as executional reasons as well, because you gotta have the right mindset. Above everything, you gotta have the right mindset in order to force neutral as well, and force that neutral play. Me being somebody who enjoys neutral play, and that's basically where I shine. Um, that's something that I do would say. So when to force neutral. So let's just talk about when you should force neutral. So I've picked a team which is based around literally taijutsu. Neji Tamari Naruto, which is a very famous team. It's inspired around doing taijutsu. The whole point of that team is Tamari's supposed to, give Neji the infinite guard pressure, give Neji the infinite combo, really complement Neji's combos as well, give Neji the stun that he needs, and as well as if you get in on him, then she backs you up pretty nicely, as well as adding to the guard pressure. Naruto's there to defend Neji at the same time, while locking the opponent down, allowing Neji to pressure your guard, and also provide the strike back as well, so you can literally maintain the pressure. He's constantly next to you, right? Now, against a team like this is a very meta team, right? So against a team like this, you want to force neutral, because the whole point of that team does nothing here. That team doesn't do anything for you. At this distance right here, that team doesn't do anything for you. That team has to get in. They have no way to contest you from here. So here is when you want to be, and this is where obviously your team choice comes into play. If you have a team that also is played around getting close to them, you can still force neutral, but obviously not as good as a zoning team or any neutral based team, or a team with even one character of neutral. For example, my team right here, the reason my neutral, if you realize, my jutsus aren't really great for neutral. I can contest you because obviously Sai, sorry, and obviously Kidomaru kind of, but in terms of jutsus, this team isn't really neutral. But Minato is very good at neutral in the sense that of his movement as well as his kunai. Sai as well. Sai's kunai is pretty good for neutral as well as his jutsu at like a mid-range. I wouldn't say a long range because it doesn't go full screen, but a mid-range because his dogs have pretty decent tracking on it and it gives you a strike back, etc, etc. So at a this team right here is at a mid-range. Now people make the mistake of assuming, because I'm playing neutral, I gotta run away, I gotta play defensive, I gotta spam and stuff like that. No, you can play an aggressive neutral game, right? An aggressive neutral game doesn't really depend on the distance, but obviously the closer you are, the more aggressive, the more options to aggression that you have. Playing neutral doesn't mean necessarily running away, doing nothing, waiting for your opponent. If you're Minato, spamming your kunai or doing whatever from back here, letting them come in. Obviously, that is a playstyle that you could, that you can do. For example, if you're playing health lead, which I'll get into in a bit, but you can play force neutral here. Forcing neutral, all it means is that your aim isn't to get someone in a combo and do a combo cancel on the switch tech and etc etc. That's not your aim. Your aim is to just do damage in the neutral. So for example, if your aim was to do combo damage, then let's use Kidomaru for example, right? Let me just change this so it's unlimited. If your aim to do a combo, when you hit this stun, you're gonna do this, yeah? If your aim to do a combo, even if as a support, as soon as this hits, you're gonna do this because this is your aim. Your aim is that you want to do damage in a combo. If you're forcing neutral, when this hits, your aim will be to hit a Rasengan, right? Because you're getting your damage in and you're still keeping the neutral, right? That would be your aim. Unnecessarily, you'd hit this, you'll do this, do your thingy. This is just how Kidomaru jutsu work. If you realize Minato didn't hit straight away, it's just because of how the stun is. He doesn't hit all the time, but he will hit as soon as they come to the end of the animation. That's just how his, that's a whole other thing, but that's just how his jutsu works. But it's the same thing, right? To a Rasengan, a Chidori, or any kind of close range like that. Because remember, doing those jutsus are still forming a neutral. It's the same thing. Let's say it was on guard. Let's say you do a jutsu, it hits them on guard. Instead of committing to the guard pressure, what you would also do, for example, what I would do as well, is I'll do this, and then I might do this because I'm forcing the neutral. I'm trying to force the neutral. Obviously, it depends on the course of the game. If the person is if you have the health lead, then obviously you would do that because you would, because then you would obviously create the distance, which means they would have to approach you, which means they have more access to making the mistakes because they have to try and get you. Whereas obviously if you don't have the health lead, then you need to get it, then obviously you might still go for it. You might still go for a more guard pressure, and then as soon as they sub, that's when they sub, you're in neutral, that's when you force the neutral again, so you don't overcommit to just dashing. Like, you wouldn't do this, they sub, and then you dash again, you're trying to pressure them, you're trying to do this all the time. That is not forcing a neutral. Now you're going into the game that the team is designed for, because you dash in, Tamari will get in the way, Naruto will get in the way, you'll get a straight back, you get an ultimate, you get whatever, and then you're pulling your hair out. If they sub, you just let them sub. Trust the fact that you can always catch them, and this is where the practice comes in. Trust the fact that you will always catch them. Trust the fact that you will always keep them. Now that goes into the other way of making it easy for yourself. The best case scenario is that you have the health lead, and this is where I say, when you play any defensive player you play, or any player that you is kind of just based on catching you and doing damage, health lead. Because if you have the health lead, you control the game, right? If you have the health lead, if the time runs out when you have the health lead, you win. If I get the health lead, even if it's just this and then I hit the health lead, if nothing happens and no one gets touched, I win because I have more health. For that reason, you don't have to be aggressive. They have to be aggressive to get the health lead back so they can secure their win. Right now, in doing so, they are doing more than you, because if I'm just waiting here for someone to catch me, for example, you're not running away, you're just waiting for them to come here. They have to dash. Even them just doing this is doing more than you, because if you're doing nothing and they do something, they're doing more than you. They're pressing buttons more than you. You're just waiting. Yeah, because they're doing more, they're more likely to make mistakes. Yeah, when they make mistakes, you punish them for the mistakes, and then them trying to catch you from a kunai little 1% health lead will turn into a 10% health lead, which will turn into a 20% health lead, and so forth, to the point where they die, meaning they will kill themselves trying to hit you. Do you see what I'm saying? Now that doesn't mean running away, that just means they could be running into stuff. So they might dash, I can't obviously show you, but they might dash. I'll do a Rasengan, they'll run into the Rasengan, they'll get blown back, you'll wait for them to come again, they might dash you again, so you'll use this, they'll clash with the support dash, So then they'll get frustrated, they might dash again, you might hit a counter, then you might go for like a little setup, etc, etc. Obviously I'm talking based off of these people who know, because that's, you know, this is more direct, this is more play where you need to understand the game in order to get it. So that's basically the gist of it. So you don't have to run away to do it. Then let's say they need chakra. Now that they need chakra, you might go to Minato, or even just somebody with a decent kunai. Or if you don't have a kunai, you can use a jutsu. I mean, everyone has a kunai. Anyone can do this to be annoying. Because if you're charging chakra, you're not moving. So anyone can do this just to make sure they're annoying. Like if you just have regular kunai and not Minato kunai, then you can just jump and do this from far away, because you know they need chakra. So by doing this, you're stopping them from getting chakra, you know, and they need to get to you, which means you're limiting their options. Yeah, they can't get chakra because every time they charge chakra they're getting it, which means they have to eat the kunai. They have to eat repeated kunai just to get chakra. All right, yeah, on top of that, you have the health lead, which means that they have to come in, but they need chakra to come in. So because they need chakra to come in, you're stopping them to get in, and they're going in. They now have to think outside the box. Do they take the kunai and just charge chakra, or do they just try and like stop you without chakra? Do they waste the support so you can charge chakra? Do they jutsu switch and try and charge chakra, etc, etc? But you're still making them have to do more than they need to. You see what I'm saying? If I don't do anything, and then Neji just charges chakra, that's fine. Neji's just charging chakra for nothing. He could just do it, charge chakra, as soon as he's ready, boom, he's gonna attempt to come on you. If I'm doing this, I'm pressuring him, so he now has to do more than just holding triangle to charge chakra, because I'm not letting him charge chakra, and that's where he wastes his resources trying to stop me from pressuring him with kunai, etc, etc. Obviously if you do have the luxury of Minato and cut, or you know, decent cover fire, then obviously you would do this just you know, to be extra annoying. Obviously if you have a strike back as well, then it's long for you, because obviously it's just adding on to the guard. But if you don't, just kunai, this will pressure you. So you're forcing a neutral, you're not letting them get chakra as well. They're doing a bit more, you're being annoying, the time's running out, so the time's running against them as well. And this is the best possible outcome that you can be in, because you're literally making it a shit fest for them, and you're in the best possible scenario of forcing neutral. If you are a bit aggressive naturally and you don't necessarily want to wait, then this is where baits come in. So dash stops like this, I tend to add this to my gameplay as well. So I'll kind of dash stop and walk to the side. A lot of people like to punish your dash. By punishing your dash, what they do is they'll jump like this, and then as soon as you dash, they will dash you. If you have to like kind of preempt that, so you can't like react to it. Yeah, you can react to the jump, but then when you dash, you have to dash so quick because you don't have much time to punish it. So when you do this, you'll see people jump and then they'll dash you like this, because they're trying to punish your dash. I promise you, as soon as you do this, literally against anyone, just do this, see what they do. This is what you do if you're aggressive. You want to give them the idea that you're gonna do something, you're gonna dash in like they want you to do, but you don't. Every time you think you don't. And then this is where the mix-ups come in. So you dash in a little bit, you stop, and then you can do, for example, this, and then they might dash into the Rasengan because they tried to punish your dash. And you're still in neutral as well. So you're constantly being annoying. You're making them think you're gonna fight them, but you're not gonna fight them. You're just gonna force neutral. And that way, if they have like a dash cart or Tamari or anything like that, you're just constantly forcing neutral. I like square characters, so obviously I have the element of doing this as well. So for example, if it was someone like me and I knew there's gonna dash, I'll do this and I'll kind of layer this behind it, and if I want to, then I'll kind of switch to Minato if I want to. But if I want to force the neutral, I won't. I might just do a jutsu after it, or see what they do or something. Might do like an air hit like this for example. If I go into Sai, I might do a jutsu switch into Sai, follow up with this, because I'm just forcing the neutral. I'm just really keeping them in neutral. They want to get to me, they don't want to get to you. Now, if we talk about the worst case scenario for you is when you don't have the health lead, right? So if you don't have the health lead, that means you have to go in. And let's say they're not coming to you, because a lot of people like to come to you even if they don't have the health lead. If they have the health lead and they're not coming to you, then obviously you're in the worst case scenario, which means you have to get to them. You have to go to them, because they're not fighting you, they're forcing you to go in, right? Which is what they want. You know that's what they want. So you have to now go in a way where you know, you can still force that neutral and still do damage to them, right? Because obviously most of your damage comes from your combos, innit? But you don't want to do that because they beat you in that department. So what you would normally do, again, make them think you're going in when you're not. You're constantly dashing them. You'll do this, you'll dash in, you'll do nothing else. Like, you're just making them think that you're going in. See, I'm not hitting him, but you're just making them think that you're going in. Yeah? That's what you're doing. Then by doing that, they'll waste their subs. They might press this off an impulse, like use Naruto in a sense to cover you. Now Naruto's out of the way. They might be throwing out Tamari strike back all day long. Obviously the strike back's always going to be available because it doesn't cost much. It's just Chakakunai, etc, etc. But by doing that, they're wasting their resources. They might sub stupidly because they might try and challenge you, because remember, you're making them think. So they might dash in to the Rasengan that I was talking about. Then that would have wasted their subs. Next thing you know, they're on like 1 sub. You still got like 3 subs, maybe like 4 or 3, maybe even 2. Now you're in a better position than them, and then you can go in if you need to, and if you want to go in and take the risk, etc, etc. So it's a whole mind game. You got to set yourself up to whittle down their defenses, whittle down their resources, and then go in. Then you give yourself the best possible outcome. So you're still forcing the neutral aggressively, but you're trying to get that health lead, so you know that you need to get in at some point to get that damage. But you don't want to go in when they're ready for you, when they got their subs, they got their supports, they got their cover fire, they got everything, everything's ready for you. No, you want to kind of whittle them down, see what picks you can get. It's like if you play games like Overwatch, or kind of those team kind of games like MMOs and stuff. You want to kind of get a pick, you know what I'm saying? Like maybe Widowmaker might get a bit of a headshot, or like if you're a sniper in COD, you might, get a little pick, like a little kill, so they have less people in the team, and then you push, because obviously you have a person up. They might have 5 people whereas you have 6 or whatever, so you're just upping your odds. It's the same concept basically. So that's where the benefits of forcing neutral happen, and forcing neutral works against people who like to fight you. So if people like to fight you like this, then you want to force neutral. Like if they like doing this, like, they just want to fight you all the time, they pressure your guard, they're really good at it, and they're just pressuring your guard, you want to force neutral. And vice versa as well. If somebody likes to force neutral, then you need to know how to force your taijutsu game. You need to know how to get in there and stay in there and constantly pressure them if they like to force neutral, right? Or make them come to you, so they do the work of coming to you, and then you just keep them in. Obviously that's another video for another day. Maybe if this video gets a decent amount of likes, we'll say over 100 likes. If this video gets over 100 likes, then I will do the opposite of how to force taijutsu rather than force neutral against somebody who's trying to force neutral on you. So back to what I was explaining to you as well. That's basically how you kind of force neutral, and that's the concept of it. You can't think to yourself, oh, I'm running away all the time and it's cheap and da 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 da. Running away is very hard. Like, this isn't anything easy, I'm telling you. Running away is a very hard thing to do in this game against people who know how to catch you, right? I explain it better in one of my other guides, where people naturally move faster when they come to you rather than you run away. That's just how the game's designed in all the games. If me and Neji was going to run like this, he'd be running faster than me and he would catch me. I would not get away from him. So they just naturally move faster. Obviously you have the charge dash as well, you have double dashes, you have certain jutsus that they can run behind and stuff like that. They have ways to get in and close the gap. So that's something to keep in mind as well. So yeah, in terms of the gist, that's basically how you force neutral. Do not get consumed with just, I'm gonna dash and mash all the time, because if you keep mashing and then you wonder why Tamari's blowing you up and you can't get in because Naruto's hitting you across the board and he's just being super annoying, and Neji's hitbox, the character's just doing this from across the map, like because they're trying to abuse the hitbox, so you're dashing in and then Neji's hitting you and you just keep getting clipped and clipped and clipped and clipped, then obviously you can't keep doing the same thing and then complain about it. If you're doing the same thing and complain about it, then you're the fool, because you're and there's a saying that says, if you're trying to plant, what's the saying again? There's no point trying to plant an apple tree with like pear seeds, let's say. So you're putting pear seeds in the floor and you're expecting an apple tree, then you get upset because it's a pear tree. Well, yeah, dumbass, you use pear seeds. So that's the same concept as here. If you keep doing the same thing, right? If you keep doing the same thing, then and getting that outcome, then if you keep doing it, how can you expect a different outcome? You need to change it. You need to change up what you're doing. Adaptation, change up what you're doing and get a better outcome. Don't just do the same thing in different ways and accept the same outcome. You're still doing the same thing. Doesn't matter how you code it, you're still doing the same thing. So I hope this helped you guys now regarding your perspective, as well as just understanding how to force neutral, how to even play neutral as well. So if you enjoyed this video and it did help you a lot, please give it a like. Remember to subscribe. I am trying to hit 500 subs by the end of the year. I can't upload as frequently as I used to just because of the background, so I don't have a lot of ideas coming up. Like I've interviews with a few players as well. More funny stuff going on, except and more series that I want to start and build. So if you want to support me, please just press the why is English hard? Press the subscribe button. We got there in the end. Press the subscribe button, give the video a like, leave a comment, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace, sayonara, and adios. You send sugars on my smile.